Don't forget. All right, and it's 12 o'clock. All right, we are live on Facebook and starting our webinar. All right, welcome to episode 15 of Startup Showdown. I'm so excited to have you all here. Attendees are starting to trickle in on this Zoom webinar and on Facebook, so thrilled to see everyone here. Thanks for spending your hour with us. I'm Jasmine Hoffman. I am the head of experience at Tech United. I'm so thrilled that you're here with us today for a really exciting episode of Startup Showdown. For those of you that this might be your first time joining us, I'm going to give you a little bit of the spiel so you understand how to engage with us, and then I'm going to turn it over to let our investors and startups introduce themselves and share their pitches. So this show is all about questions, engagement, so please put your questions in the Q&A in the bottom, share comments in the chat, say hello in the chat. We're going to be keeping an eye on everything, and we love to hear what you have to say after you hear these three companies pitch. This episode is being recorded. It's also being streamed on Facebook. So if you want to check it out afterwards, you'll be able to see it on our YouTube page and on our Facebook page as well. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a really special episode of Startup Showdown today. This is our season finale for our 2021 season. And it's one of our last times that we're going to be doing startup pitches before our really big event of the year, Propelify, which I hope you are all registered to attend for, which is in Hoboken on October 6th. Say it with me, Hoboken, October 6th, Propelify. It's going to be awesome. So I am going to turn it over today. We're talking about marketing and ad tech innovations. We have three incredible companies that are pitching: Paid Exposure, Magnetic 3D, and Viral. I'm going to let those founders share their pitches in just a couple minutes. So we have some incredible sponsors for today's episode: Tech Council Ventures, who's been our partner from the start on this incredible series, as well as Board's partners and the NJEDA. So I'm going to start this time, ladies first. Lexi, thank you so much for joining us today. Will you introduce yourself and tell our audience a little bit more about the EDA?
Okay, yes, that mute button gets me every time. So I'm Lexi Demirali, and I work at the New Jersey EDA, and we have a group of people that are producing products to encourage entrepreneurs to stay in New Jersey and grow in New Jersey. We focus on technology and life science companies, and we provide angel tax credits. So if you're an angel investor anywhere in the world, but you invest in a New Jersey-based company, we are happy to provide you with some tax credits. We also have some NOL. If you're a company that has a lot of net operating losses, we can help you. And of course, we partner with a lot of angel groups. We are a member of Golden Seeds, and we are really here to help stimulate the New Jersey economy.
Awesome.
That's it.
It's great to have you, and I'm sure almost everyone is familiar with the EDA, but you've been a great partner over the years, so thrilled to have you here and excited to hear your thoughts on our startups today.
We're happy to be here. Thank you, Jasmine.
Of course. Next, Chris, always great to see you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your fabulous organization.
No, absolutely. So I am Chris Daugherty. I'm a partner at Oars Partners, and our not so creative acronym, I'm looking forward to hearing these creative presentations today, stands for Outsourced Recruiting Solutions. And so we work with early stage, emerging growth, venture-backed and private equity-backed companies to help them scale their businesses from a talent standpoint, building out entire teams from director level and below. And we also have an executive search group. However, I'm also an angel investor with my founder, Terry Williams. We had started a seed fund that is now fully deployed called Next Stage Capital. We actually have invested in Jim's fund as well, and done some investments together and referrals back and forth. And so we work very closely with entrepreneurs, both to help the company scale, invest, and if we don't invest, to keep everybody in the ecosystem and help to grow New Jersey Our company's based in Pennsylvania, but I myself am based in Monmouth County. So have a lot invested, grew up in New Jersey, still live here, and really happy to hear the pitches today. So that's just a little bit about me and our organization.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. I've been working with you over the last couple of years as we've gotten to know your company a little bit more. Thanks again for joining us. Looking forward to hearing your insights too today. And last but not least, we have Jim Gunn. Now, everyone here probably knows you if they've seen Startup Showdown before. Can you introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit more about Tech Council Ventures?
Yeah, well, thanks so much, Jasmine. As always, doing a wonderful job. Well, as Chris said, we're delighted to be partnering here with three terrific partners, right? ORS and Chris and NJEDA and Lexi, and of course, Jasmine with the Tech Council, and now Tech United. So our group, Tech Council Ventures, invests in early stage and expansion stage companies throughout the region, throughout the Mid-Atlantic, especially in New Jersey. We target companies that are growing quickly in all different categories, all different sectors, and we'll invest up to 2 or 3 million initially and support the company as they expand.
Fabulous. Well, thanks for being here, and thanks as always for supporting our Startup Showdown series. So again, for those of you that haven't participated in Startup Showdown before, what's going to happen is that each of the three founders here are going to share a 5-minute pitch presentation. After that presentation, they're going to take questions and comments from our 3 expert investor judges here on screen. And then I'll be moderating all the questions we should be getting from you, the audience. So please make sure to share those in the Q&A. You can pop them in the chat. I'll try to see them, but would love if you put them in the Q&A so I can make sure I ask them and mark them as answered. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Ricardo, who is our first pitch of the day. I want to remind everyone to say hi in the chat. Pay attention because I'm expecting some really great questions for these founders today. Ricardo, over to you.
Hey, thanks, Jasmine. Do I go ahead and go with the pitch or?
You're ready to go.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Perfect. See if everything's working okay. Are you able to see my screen okay?
Looking good.
Okay, great. So it's so hard to get people's attention nowadays. So businesses are looking for ways to get more valuable exposure, but influencer marketing, where people get paid to promote businesses, has gotten popular. It's an effective way of getting people's attention. Mostly big businesses are able to take advantage of this using popular influencers. Other business owners just don't have the time or resources. From our own experience and talking to other business owners, we've learned because of the lack of trust, the influencer marketing process sucks. It takes weeks or months to finalize everything. It's difficult for influencers to convert sponsors since there's no information or way to verify their reputation for their services up front, and nothing stops them from running away with your money. So a lot of time is wasted going back and forth. Existing platforms don't provide tools for both sides to help them work with each other. That's why it's hard for small businesses to use influencer marketing to promote themselves. Even though all the problems stem from influencers, existing platforms are geared for sponsors, which doesn't solve the cause of the problems. They're way too complicated and too expensive, which is why there are almost no competitors focusing on the hyperlocal market. Imagine if Airbnb hosts only showed pictures without any details, prices, or calendars. Yeah, it wouldn't work either. Paid exposure is developing a trustworthy marketplace to make the process more affordable, efficient, and easier for businesses of any size to get valuable exposure by building their own team of promoters within their own community of supporters. By integrating a true marketplace, influencers can gain more credibility with their sponsor history, along with ratings and reviews that can help them build trust to convert more sponsors. Our unique system allows sponsors to easily book influencers the same way we book rooms or flights. We help promote both promoters and businesses of any size to manage everything, so we can help them even at a hyper-local level. Now, any businesses can get multiple influencers to do the same exact things on the same exact days within 48 hours. The influencer marketing industry is expected to reach 15 billion by 2022. Micro-influencers estimated at 2.3 billion just on Instagram alone. By capturing just 10,000 influencers, averaging about $250 with 46 sponsors per month, we could reach 200 million in annual sales. 60% of small businesses that closed during the pandemic have permanently closed. That's why we're so passionate about helping local businesses first and pivoted our go-to-market strategy, and even though businesses of any size can use our platform. So this is how it works. Sponsors can filter their search based on keywords, pricing, reviews, and other relevant information to find the right influencers. Sponsors then review influencer profiles that contain information about what they do for sponsors, their background, sponsor history, and everything else that a sponsor needs to make a decision. Then they simply book the influencer's available dates where they can actually view the prices and add any extra services that can enhance the promotion. After influencers review the sponsor's information, they have 48 hours to accept or decline the offer. So sponsors don't waste any time. Once they accept, they can discuss the details until the promotion's launch date and receive automated notifications about important activities. After the promotion, sponsors can give their ratings and reviews, and influencers get paid unless there are any disputes. Both influencers and sponsors can manage and track the entire influencer marketing process. So that saves a lot of time and money. The way we make money is by taking a percentage from promoters based on their monthly transactions, where our percentage decreases as they make more money. And we charge sponsors a 15% service fee. Our plan is to connect local businesses with local influencers, increase liquidity by promoting our users on social media groups, and sign up influencer managers and agencies. So since graduating from Founder Institute, we've raised about $50,000, mostly from friends and family. We've been learning a lot from our users and generated some revenue traction along the way. We pivoted our strategy to focus more on hyperlocal market to improve our chances of success. And we're developing our mobile apps for promoters set to launch this month. So my partner and I have 9 years of business experience with our apparel business. Our advisor has 9 years of experience in growing and exiting his AdTech startup. Our CTO has 9 years of experience with product development and running his own startup. And Greg Matzel is a very successful entrepreneur and early investor with us. So we're seeking $250,000, which gives us a 12-month runway to grow our business and reach our milestones, such as building and launching our full mobile apps that will help us increase transactions, launch in 3 major locations and acquire 100 sponsors at each location, plus acquire a variety of 1,000 influencers. And with your help, we can help businesses of any size to give back to their own communities by paying people to promote them instead of paying Google or Facebook because of the drastic impact of the pandemic. So thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Ricardo. And you know we have some questions because that's the fun part of the show here. Whenever you're ready, you can stop sharing your screen. I'm going to turn it over to Chris first, who I saw smiling through half the presentation. I'm dying to hear what you have.
No, I think it's it's a great business, by the way, and congratulations on the current traction. And I love the fact that you're focusing on local businesses because I think that's an underserved market. Everything you hear about influencer-wise, and I don't know a ton about that market, but is global brands and a lot of sort of international traction. In terms of revenue, where are you to date? And then the follow-up to that is, what is your plan to attract and engage more influencers as you move the business forward?
Yes, so we, up to this day, we launched like the MVP about sometime last year. We did about $6,000. We were testing it out. So we were trying to see which niche to take. So we're still getting a lot of feedback, getting a lot of user feedback and getting them to use it. What happened while we were learning is we realized the hyperlocal market no one was really there. They actually needed the most help, like you mentioned, and especially with the pandemic hitting them. And I'm like, why are they giving, they're giving all this money to Google and Facebook, which is most businesses rely on, but why don't they give back to their own communities of supporters and customers that help them actually promote themselves? So instead of getting, you can actually get like 10 promoters with even just 5,000 followers, that's 50,000 people reach in locals. So that's very effective. So we've pivoted our system, and the way we're trying to get them, what I realized was, how am I going to get hyperlocal influencers to connect with hyperlocal sponsors in Idaho, right? Like, how do I do that? That's way too many people. So that's when we really made a lot of changes because of the feedback we've gotten. It was very difficult. So I learned, what? No one is helping sponsors create their own team of influencers. So they already have supporters through their social media, Facebook, even their local communities. Why aren't we doing something that helps them build their own community of influencers? So we built a system where they can actually, all they have to do is promote their URL, so their sponsor profile, and people, their supporters, can easily click a button that says join team. And once they join the team, basically they create a profile that now includes the background, pricing, location, and everything else that they need to make that decision. And so everything is transparent. There's a lot of credibility because you can rate and review them. And also accountability. The biggest problem is people running away with your money. It costs more to chase them. And so there's really no accountability at all. And so those are the things that we've done to kind of go to the next step.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good.
Great.
Up next, did you have your follow-up, Chris? Did that get answered?
No, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. No, both questions answered. Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Lexi, what are you thinking?
So I loved your presentation and I love this idea. One thing I will say is I know it's nerve-wracking to be presenting, but you might just want to slow down a minute because some of the slides I couldn't even read the whole slide.
Okay.
Maybe that's a reflection on me, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
I love the whole concept. So tell me a little bit more about your pricing. You guys are the whole flow. So influencer sponsors, and then I know you're going to get 15%. So just go through that again.
Sure.
And last year you made 5,000 to 6,000. How much have you made this year?
This year, so we've been working on the product development. It's really stalled us a lot.
Okay.
We've changed a lot of things. And one of the biggest factors, and that's really the communication factor. So we started developing the app. So that took up like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. I gotcha. So tell me about your whole cash
pricing
flow
model.
Yeah,
sure. So what we've done is we take a percentage of a commission from the promoters. We start from
15%, right?
No, actually, that's for the sponsors. That's the service fee for sponsors.
Sure.
So that's just a flat fee for them. But what we do for promoters is we get a commission from the promoters. So the platform is free. We've realized no promoters want to pay for anything.
Right.
So what we did was we start from 25%, 20%, 15, and then 10. We make less money as they make more because someone with 1 million followers is not going to give up 25%. They're probably the least is going to, the most would be 10%. And so based on their monthly transactions, we take a little bit less and less and less, starting at 2,500 and 2,500 plus, then 5,000, 10,000, and then 10,000 plus basically is 10%.
And can I just ask one more question about your marketing and sales? So you're talking about the company in Idaho. So do you reach out to the sponsors specifically in Idaho? Is that how you're doing it?
So like I mentioned before, that's the hard part is how do I connect this? And right now what platforms are doing is just leaving them alone. And they're just basically waiting for influencers going like, any influencers in my town yet? No, now that's useless. The platform's completely useless. We need to make it more like a SaaS product for both sides. Influencers should be able to approach sponsors and sponsors should be able to approach influencers. So that's what we've been working on the last 6 to 8 months. So now if I meet someone in Idaho, which actually we have a good proof of concept, the small boutique store in, I forget what it was, North Dakota. What they did was they looked for, there was an agency there that kind of put their influencers on our platform so that they saw that there was a bunch of influencers in their town. So they actually used 4 influencers and spent like $400 and reused some of them. And so that's the power of the platform because I'm allowing a small local business to be able to do that. So once we learned that, that's when we said, we got to go all out. We got to go, man. So let's start with little towns and expand from there, Facebook style.
Okay, thank you.
Jim, your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks, Jasmine. So, Ricardo, first of all, I see we have a common friend, Jay.
Oh, Gould?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Yeah, I've known him for years. Yeah, since like college days.
Yeah, that's a terrific resource.
Thank you.
So I guess it'd be helpful if you don't mind to maybe give some context for the business, for the customers that you do have. You mentioned you have a little bit of revenue from 2020. Is it possible just to kind of walk through that timeline in terms of how you got those customers, what the sales cycle was like, how you're serving them, what do they need? It'd be helpful to get a little context on that.
Yeah, so in the beginning, so last year, what we were doing is trying out different niches. We weren't sure where to go. We actually had this term, like between me and my partners, do we go national or do we go hyper local? So we were kind of testing both sides because we didn't know. We needed to get feedback because we didn't want to build something that it's not going to be useful. So we started kind of testing different venues. So there's a lot of influencer groups on Facebook right now. Influencers are posting looking for sponsors, and sponsors are looking for influencers. So that's how we kind of started getting a little bit of traction, just going in there, like basically, because we provide the sponsors to have their profile and influencers to have their profile with a URL, I'm actually able to get that and promote them on these on these groups without them even having to do it. So I would say, hey, we have an influencer looking for this type of sponsor, or sponsors looking for this. So we were able to connect some of them. We also got some agencies that got involved. So I'm like, so we actually put a way for agencies to be able to create their own team as well, and also share their teams. So there was this one that was using a couple, he was actually, because of how fast we can do it, he was A/B testing different ones. But our platform wasn't performing as well as we wanted it to be. It was like MVP stage. So it's kind of sucked actually. But so they got, so they were like, kind of like, oh, let's wait until you're a little bit better. When we mentioned that we're working on the apps, he was very interested because the communication was the worst part. These influencers weren't checking their emails, but we wanted to make sure that we can connect with them directly. And right now, if you try to connect with them on Instagram, which is where most influencers, communicate in, the social media things itself, but you're competing with 1,000 messages. So, and there's a lot of scam artists, so they don't know who to go with. And that's why we said, we have to do something direct. We need a mobile app. They need a notification saying, you just got an offer. And all the offers that they receive is paid in advance. So I'm like, they're paid in advance, man. Why are you why? Because within 48 hours, it automatically cancels, because sponsors would have been there waiting and waiting. And I'm like, this is a common problem. And none of these platforms solve that problem because they don't actually allow the influencers to have the tools to be able to communicate and go back and forth with them.
Yeah.
I hope that kind of made sense.
Yeah, no, it sure does. Sure does. Thanks so much, Ricardo.
Sure. Thank you.
So, couple questions from the audience. We've got just 3 minutes until it's AJ's turn for his pitch. So I'm going to run through these super rapid fire. So what are the typical budgets for an influencer? Like if I'm a brand, I'm a local bookstore, and I'd like to partner with 5 local influencers on a book release party that I'm having in 2 weeks. Talk to me about how you make that budget happen and how you make sure that the authenticity between like my brand and the influencer brand is matched up.
Gotcha. So the way people join the teams, the sponsor still has the ability to accept or decline them. And when you actually look for the sponsors, like I mentioned before, it's transparent, like booking a flight. Like imagine Airbnb, when you take away ratings, calendars, list, any information at all, it is not going to work. Right now, influencer marketing is like Airbnb with just pictures. And you don't see anything. And that's why the time goes back and forth and there's no trust. Right now, I can go to California, go to an Airbnb, trust. Why? Well, because they give me the ratings reviews. They gave me a way to get a refund if it's not the right place. So I'm really well protected. And basically all they did was build trust, and no one's doing that. Now, when it comes to budgeting, they're all different. That's why they have to be transparent. Right now, what they say is like, well, Jasmine, what's your budget? So you're trying to milk as much money from me. Got it. But instead, what we're trying to do is like, these are the prices. If you go to a restaurant, you see a steak, you don't say, well, I'm a millionaire, so I guess that's $500 for me. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that's what they do today because there's no transparency. So the budget is based on you, what you want. And what we do is there's a minimum basic promotion. For example, a story on Instagram. It's only going to cost you what for a hyper local? What, a $5? But if you want more than that, you can add on. I also want a live. I want also a carousel feed post, and also want to do this and promote it on this. So you can actually pick and choose, and we help the promoters with that. We're giving them the tools to be able to create a menu of their services so that you can provide this transparency. And now you can go by any budget. There's no 500 for a post. What does a post mean? Is that live? Stories? How many stories? How many minutes? How many minutes are you going to go live? 5, 10? So we actually made that segmented out so you can answer that.
Got it. And so that I assume helps with sort of the ability for added analytics, like our analytics part of the platform moving forward. So I'm able to see not only the ratings and reviews, but when so-and-so does a post, on average, they get 42 likes and 6 comments and 72 people clicking the link in bio. Like, is that something that's currently a part of the platform? Like, and I know analytics, especially for a small business, like they do have small budgets. When you're looking for local, it goes both ways.
So what's funny is actually on a hyper-local level, the analytics is not as important. They just want to know that they're actually being promoted and it's out there on Facebook. They're not into the whole ROI. They don't know what that means, right? They're just kind of going, okay, can I get 10 influencers that's local promoting on their platforms and actually doing it without them running away with my money? But we are going to be putting that the analytics on both ends. Influencers need to understand that they have a business and they're not treating it as such. But what if I give you the analytics of how much you've made so far, which ones is the most successful, and how do you reach out to sponsors? Like, for example, we put in a coupon code, because when you're starting out, why do you offer free services first? Get your ratings and reviews, just like any other marketplace, Upwork, Fiverr. Once their ratings go up, then they can actually get more sponsors. So I'm increasing the liquidity.
Right. Okay, very fair. Well, thank you for answering all of our questions. We're going to bring you back on for our closing remarks, and we're going to bring AJ up to talk to us about Viral. And there he is. The floor is all yours, my friend.
Thank you. There we go. So, hi everyone, I'm Ajay Bam, CEO and co-founder of Viral. For brands and retailers, the number one way to convert customers into shoppers is reviews. Text reviews today are old, archaic, and sometimes filled by bots. Video reviews have become the number one way for brands now to have conversations with their customers. So 85% of shoppers say that they watch videos before they shop because it increases brand trust by 20x, and it reduces review fraud because they can see the product, the person, and the emotions inside the video. So for brands and retailers, they don't have any backend systems to capture videos, understand videos, and then leverage videos and put them in front of shoppers to drive more conversions. And so for a brand like L'Oreal or BMW or any of these big brands, they have millions of videos on social media. And if someone made a review, L'Oreal would love to know it happened and would love to be able to license and leverage that video for product marketing. So these are some of the challenges that Viral solves. We help brands and retailers increase revenue and find new customers by leveraging authentic video content such as reviews, unboxing videos, how-to videos, recipes, and more for insights, demand gen, and content marketing. And all of this is powered by our very powerful in-video search platform. What makes Viral very unique and special is that we have trained machines to watch and to listen to videos. We're one of the very few companies in the world that can match millions of videos on YouTube to the entire L'Oreal product catalog by product, category, brand, competitor, keyword, and hashtag. And after we match the video, we parse the audio, text, and images for sentiment analysis, demographic, diversity, brand safety analysis, subject matter, scene, type of video, and engagement analytics. So we use both computer vision and natural language processing to do this, to help brands rate and rank content. So in summary, we help brands with finding the needle in the haystack, the top 10 reviews that will drive conversion. And for customers, we help them search inside the video so they can instantly find what they're looking for, the features to make product decisions. For example, if you're buying a Porsche Cayenne a car featuring yellow leather seats and talking about car acceleration, featuring your target demographic, which is 30 to 40 male or female, not only Viral can find that review if there is one, we can actually take you inside the video so you don't have to watch the entire video to make shopping decisions. So we have built our own proprietary stack where we capture videos from multiple sources, we match, we process, and we have a dashboard where brands can capture insights, license content, and run marketing campaigns. So on our dashboard, brands and retailers can generate a list of all their fans and videos along with their email addresses so they can actually license content and run marketing campaigns. So for example, most recently, we helped a big CPG brand track pre-COVID and during COVID data. We analyzed 12,000 videos in 2 weeks, what would have taken them 4.5 months to manually watch and understand the video. They used all the insights and the content for product marketing and also for new product development. We also have built a proprietary, first of its kind video rating system for video commerce. So essentially, we provide 35 different proprietary filters for brands to find top content and creators to license content. We also provide brands with content marketing tools. They can run campaigns at scale, speed, and cost, such as product shoutouts, capturing reviews, video contests, and more to drive both brand awareness and conversion on their shopping cart. And we also provide widgets on their product pages and more to drive conversion. So essentially what makes Varo very unique and special, unlike our competitors that only do text and audio, is that we actually do moving videos. So essentially think of Varo as a Google for video, and we're also one of the very few companies in the world that can Google inside the video as well to enable insights and commerce. So we have a freemium SaaS model. We have over 40 plus brands on our platform today, and we're growing. Essentially, this is a huge market. We believe that every brand and retailer in the world is going to lead their product pages with video. So we're sitting on a $7 billion plus market opportunity. So we were founded at UC Berkeley. Myself, I've had one successful e-commerce exit in the past, sold a mobile shopping app company to Catalina. My co-founder, Dr. Barbara, has a PhD in machine learning and AI from UC Berkeley. We have a team of 14 today, and we have some amazing investors and advisors, including the CTO of Airbnb, the head of AI at Pinterest, the head of shopping at Google just invested in the company, and we have more investors. So today I'm here because we're raising a $2 million seed round, of which 1.7 million is already closed. We're also hiring a bunch of talent as well, both on the engineering and on the sales side. So if you know anyone, please reach out to me. So essentially, in summary, Varo, we believe that the future of commerce will begin and end with video, and Varo will be the company that will drive conversions and conversations between brands and shoppers with video. So that's Varo. And I'm Ajay, and my email is ajay@varo.com. So please reach out and I'll open up to Q&A. Thank you very much.
Fabulous job. Thank you so much for the presentation, and congrats on the success thus far. I'm gonna kick things off this time in reverse with Jim.
Yep, thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, I agree, Ajay, very impressive. Can you talk about the round? You mentioned that the $1.7 million is closed already, so you're just looking for a bit more.
Yeah.
Talk about the terms and the pricing for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're currently, as I said, we have closed 1.7 million. It's a convertible note with 8 million cap, 20% discount, and 3% interest rate. And some of the leading investors in this round is, including what I just mentioned, the CTO of Airbnb, the head of AI at Pinterest, the head of payments at Apple, the head of shopping at Google, the head of engineering at Microsoft, the head of engineering at AWS, the head of engineering at Salesforce. And we also have New York-based investors as well. Nomis Ventures has come in. In fact, I met Nomis on one of your sessions here about a year ago, and I can't say enough about both everything that you've done for me for both Tech United and also Nomis Ventures as well. I mean, Simeon has been amazing. So he's also invested in the round as well. So we have some amazing investors, and we have a lot of momentum right now with everything where things are headed with video.
Yeah, it's well, the value proposition certainly makes a lot of sense. Just so I understand, has there been a priced round previously, or has it all been?
No, it's been a pre-seed. We raised a pre-seed round before of 2.1 million, and now we're raising a $2 million seed round. But it will be, the next round will be a price round.
And the pre-seed of the 2.1 million, that was also convertible debt?
It was also a convertible note, yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah.
Fabulous. I'm going to move on to Lexi.
Wow, that's a really exciting product. Thank you so much for the presentation. Thank you, Jasmine. So how, it sounds like you have an explosive company. How are you going to bring on new customers and explode your customer base to grow so quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I think we did an MVP for 2 years with a couple of big brands. And what we discovered was that video data is relatively new for brands and retailers. So everyone that came on the platform wanted to first get a sense of what to expect in terms of video insights and how they could license content and more. So after 2 years of testing, about 10 weeks ago, we launched the freemium SaaS model. Essentially, any brand or retailer can now come in, sign up with an email address, add a couple of product names or hashtags, instantly find reviews for their products. They can get a sentiment insights, engagement insights on the dashboard. They can even license the content. So we've launched a freemium SaaS model where they get to try out the platform for 14 days for free, and they can upgrade them with a credit card if it's a small business. For large customers, it's usually an RFP process. So essentially what we have done is now we're building an inbound funnel. And so essentially what we're in that respect, what we're doing is we're now doing some strategic partnerships. For example, recently we partnered with the Global Cosmetic Alliance. So we primarily focus on a few verticals such as beauty, fashion, electronics, CPG, where there's massive amounts of video consumption and creation. So we're partnering with these trade alliances to do some marketing with them to get us in front of our potential customers. So my buyer is really the VP of digital marketing. The people who use our products are social team, insights team, and e-commerce content marketing teams. So first is doing marketing with these trade alliances so we can get in front of the right buyer for our platform. The second is strategic partnerships with retail solution providers like Inmar and Nielsen, who already have the buyer relationships. So we're also very open to white labeling our product as well. And so we're also open to that. The third is partnerships with both. We've integrated well with YouTube, Dropbox, and Shopify. And we're continuing to build platforms. So TikTok, of course, and more. So essentially, we don't disrupt any of these platforms. If anything, we're adding more value to YouTube content, to Shopify content, to enhance the shopping journeys for customers and shoppers. So partnerships with them to bring more value to their channels and to the brand customers on these platforms. And then finally, the fourth kind of partners are the content creation platforms such as Vimeo and Clipchamp, which by the way was just acquired yesterday by Microsoft. So a lot of these video creation platforms are looking for ways to help their creators monetize their content. And we're looking for, our customers are looking to get in front of as many creators and shoppers as they can. So we want to build that bridge by offering our campaigns directly on these platforms. So those are some of the strategies on how we plan to scale. And of course, I'm doing some direct sales as well, so how building a sales team.
Thank you. That's great.
Excellent. And Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, great presentation, Ajay, too. And obviously people are a lot more comfortable with video and what that content means and how to attract those folks with, with what's gone on during the pandemic. And so hopefully that's helped your business a little bit. Couple of questions, one focused on the round and then a question around intellectual property. So I'm going to assume that the round is going to be closed imminently here at the 2 million level. So one, what are you doing with those proceeds for the 2 million? And since you've exited already, I'm assuming that you have a valuation and an idea and a runway for what Series A is going to look like beyond that. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that, and I'll pause.
Yeah. So first, let me start with the proceeds. So currently, our key area where we need to grow is sales and marketing. So we're hiring right now, I'm hiring 2 SDRs. I just hired a new biz dev person as well on the team with a lot of background connecting with brands and retailers. So our primary focus, 35% of those proceeds are going to go towards sales and marketing and really brand awareness. I don't think people know Viral yet. So that's the #1 priority. The second is talent for scaling. So currently we have an open position for director of engineering. So if anyone here listening knows anyone, please reach out. We currently need to grow now. We need to scale. So currently we match through millions of videos, but we analyze 25,000 videos a day for our customers. As we add more customers, we need to get to 1 million videos a day in terms of providing video analysis. So it requires a very particular skill set with for director of engineering that has experience with building APIs, integrating with APIs, and building a platform that can scale to millions of transactions as well. So, and then we need to hire a couple of engineers as well, API engineer and for API development and UI UX. So that's the second area. And then third is really building the infrastructure for us to grow. We're currently with AWS and Google Cloud. So we need to continue to build the infrastructure that can handle millions of videos. So that's the first part of your question is how do we plan to use the proceeds? The second part of the question is our current runway with the funding we have raised and everything is going to be about 18 months. So we plan to do a Series A round and raise in about a year from, hopefully in 11 to 12 months from now, as it takes a little bit of time to actually close the round. And I already have a lot of interest. So as you can imagine, with video commerce growing and where things are headed, so to be honest with you, like I can give you some numbers, but this could very well change. So I want to caveat by saying that
based on the scale of the business. No, I understand that.
We hope to raise a $10 million round with a valuation somewhere between 20 to 30 million and more. So that's what I'm right now. But who knows? Maybe if we scale even rapidly, these numbers could change, and we hope to do that.
Absolutely. And just in the interest of time, quick follow up. You did a good job on the competitive analysis. So if we look at organizations like Trustpilot and Bazaar Voice, what do you have in terms of your plans and what can be done in terms of protecting intellectual property, knowing that they're focused on text and audio, and the video piece would seem to be obviously a great future? And how do you kind of hold them at arm's length?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good question. So first of all, let me say that AI is hard. There's a lot of how do I say this, buzzwords being thrown around. But if you really dig deep into, there are very few companies that actually do AI and machine learning for real. So we have spent about 4.5 years to essentially solve a very key problem, which is video search. And so for brands and retailers, it's not just about simply looking at demographic data, but what they're looking for is their four key important features: sentiment analysis, engagement analysis, brand safety analysis, and demographic data. And so we are one of the few companies in the world. First, we match videos to products. So we do this at SKU level. And why SKU, product SKU? Because customers are looking for reviews by product. So that's the first key problem we have solved. So we have very proprietary matching algorithms that do this. And then the second part of this is analyzing the video in 9 dimensions. So it's not like 1 or 2, it's 9. And to build those 9 dimensions, we have started from scratch, building our own proprietary training data sets. So for someone to catch up with us, it's going to take a while, honestly, to do this. However, to answer your question, our first patent that we have filed is not about face recognition, but what you can do with face recognition in the context of commerce. So for example, we're able to analyze demographic and diversity, and we're able to help brands make recommendations on how to optimize the best content for that target demographic, or if they're missing certain types of video by demographic, the system can help them programmatically or manually make recommendations to optimize and capture better content from the right target demographic to improve their revenue numbers and capture more customers. So it's really about the context of what we can do with this data. So that's really where our patents are, and also around search as well. We're also defining a whole new format for video reviews that has never happened before. As I mentioned before, video has multiple dimensions. It's not only rating the video itself, but rating the product or products in the video, adding comments, views, adding multiple dimensions. How can you summarize? And then the key is video search, right? So with Varo, you're a customer, you arrive on the product page, there are 20 videos, and you might be looking for a car with leather seats. I might be looking for a yellow car. Well, guess what? Varo can help you instantly find that feature, take you to that feature, and then drive that conversion. So essentially, our mission is very simple. We want to drive the entire influence the entire shopping journey with moment you type the product name on Google. So having an SEO widget to actually going from there to the homepage widget, search widget on the homepage, to product page widget, to shopping cart widget, to post-purchase engagement widget as well, right? So essentially influencing the entire. So hopefully that gives you a sense of how we're different and how we go deeper into all things video.
No, that's a great answer. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. The folks on screen asked a lot of the questions are from the audience. So in the sake of time, I'm going to bring you back on for our closing remarks and give the floor over to Tom to share his last presentation of the day.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
No worries. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Tom, all yours when you're ready. You're on mute, my friend.
All right.
There you go.
Yep. And then let me just go full screen here for you. All right. Hey, everyone.
Perfect.
I'm Tom Zarega, the founder and CEO of Magnetic 3D. Our company solves an age-old problem, which has kept 3D locked up in the movie theaters for over 100 years. The need to wear those annoying 3D glasses. You know, consumers love 3D, but nobody really wants to wear the glasses because they kind of suck. So let me tell you about Magnetic 3D. We offer a game-changing platform that removes the friction between the user and their experience because our products wear the glasses instead of the viewer. We've literally flipped the model on the head and we put the 3D glasses on the TV. The result is holographic content that floats in midair so that viewers can experience 3D with freedom of movement from anywhere they are. It's a pretty amazing experience and it's almost like magic. What we do and how we make money is by selling proprietary 3D displays, software, and content. We work with the world's top brands, and with your help, we plan to offer these solutions as a service so that we can grow our business by more than 100-fold. We're talking about a $1 trillion market opportunity when you look at B2B and B2C. These are huge markets where we're talking about selling hardware, software, and digital content. Magnetic 3D has proprietary formats and proprietary technologies, and we're essentially carving out our niche in this market as the Tesla of TV. So let me tell you a little bit about the platform. The company has generated over $8 million in income, and we've done roughly around $45,000 a month in average revenue through most of the pandemic. We've raised $3 million previously through angels and seeds, and I'm an investor in the company myself, founding it over 10 years ago. We see about approximately a 64% profit margin blended between hardware, software, and content. And right now, our business is broken up about 70% hardware sale and 30% content and services. And we see that shifting a bit as we start rolling out our platform as a service. Our pipeline is completely flush. We've got more deals than we can handle. It's like drinking out of a fire hose right now. And what we want to do is scale up by bringing on a great sales and marketing team to help us execute on these types of projects. We found product market fit in the B2B space. So we got great customers in retail, experiential marketing, theme parks and entertainment, hospitality. The list kind of goes on the marketing side. We also work with customers that are looking for depth perception for mission critical applications. And we're winning deals in surgical and remote operated vehicles and medical and defense related projects as well. So you really have the dichotomy of two use cases for 3D technology. It's high impact marketing and experiential. And then you also have this utility based case, which can scale really well. And glasses free 3D is a transformative technology that essentially cuts across many different B2B verticals. And so, you know, with this financing round, what we plan to do at Magnetic is start deploying our technology as a service. For the most part right now, we're winning projects and we want to turn this into a recurring revenue-based business, which is much more predictable. We're looking for major partnerships in the hospitality industry where we'll be able to deploy our 3D kiosks as an advertising network. And we're starting to work on those projects with our customers right now. On the enterprise sales side, we also have a lot of customers that want to buy the product as a service and deploy it in retail stores across the US and across the world. And so we want to sell them a complete solution of the 3D display, the software, and content as a bundle. And with this financing round, we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to put thousands of units into market. We'll be able to create a much more defendable market position and create a lot greater ROI and asset monetization strategy through this method. So a little bit about our team. I founded the company about 12 years ago. Magnetic 3D is born out of a digital signage company. It was a 2D digital signage company, and then we migrated into 3D, and we sold off what we were doing in the 2D space, having won the Mall of America and 17 malls in the Northeast to roll out our ad networks. We sold off that business, got into 3D technology, and that's been the story ever since. We've got a great team that knows hospitality, digital media, cinema, and we're super excited because we've got a lot of industry-leading partners that we're working with to bring this technology to market. So just a little bit here about the IP. Magnetic 3D has secured over 150 patents from Philips, which we've licensed from them. And we continue to file our own intellectual property as well and stack that on top of what we do. This is a technology that is complex to build, but we've built and created a very elegant solution of 4K displays that range from 28 inches all the way up to 100 inches, landscape, portrait format. These units are available in 3 to 4 weeks, and we're shipping them all over the world right now. Of course, beyond B2B, we see a huge opportunity to bring our tech to the consumer market, and we started developing our interface for that as well. As a sort of background R&D project. It's gesture controlled and it's voice activated. And we believe this is going to be a way to experience the metaverse and VR content without having to wear a headset, which in the world of, post-COVID, I think in the out-of-home market and the in-home market, if you really want to create inclusiveness and collaboration, you're looking at solutions that are not going to need the headgear and the eyewear to experience the content. And if you talk to creators, they feel the same way. So we're looking at upside to potentially put millions of devices in homes as we scale up. So the ask for us, we're looking to raise $6 million in this round. That'll take us to $18 million in revenue in 24 months. It'll give us basically a runway of 24 to 30 months of operating capital. It's going to allow us to open up hundreds of new accounts with our sales team. We're expecting to bring on about 30 to 40 sales and marketing pros in the advertising and enterprise sales divisions, and put about 3,000 units into market. Last but not least, it's really going to allow us to expand our current tool set and turn it into an enterprise platform that's easy to license, so that customers can go online and they can download the tools, start creating content on their own, or start buying media on our networks. So we hope you'll join us as we free 3D content for movie theaters and make the metaverse more accessible by going to Glasses Free 3D. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Great presentation. I'm going to start off Q&A with Lexi.
Hi, thank you so much. That is fascinating. So, you're doing the technology end and all those patents are great. My question is, how are you handling that manufacturing part of the company?
So we started off initially building everything in the US.
Yeah.
And what we do is we put a 3D lens on the front of the display. It's like a prescription for the TV. Originally, we worked with Samsung and NEC, and we took apart their displays, and we added the lenses here in the United States with an optical engineering partner up in Boston, actually, in the Hanover area. After a while, though, the displays became thinner and thinner, and we also wanted to add more technology into them so that we could manage them remotely, also control all the electronics inside the display, and we started building everything in Shanghai, China. So we found a great partner there. We worked with them for over 7 years now. We started off in Korea, and then eventually all display technology and manufacturing, even for some of the largest brands, has moved to China. So we've got a great partnership. They build all of our systems, and it's a very healthy partnership.
Thank you.
You got it.
Excellent. And Tom, if you're able to stop screen sharing, it'd be great if I could see everyone's faces for the last bit of Q&A here. And I'm going to turn it over to Jim. Thanks for that.
Perfect.
There we go. Unmuted. Yeah. Wow. This is cool stuff. I guess the question I would ask is: so you're based in Los Angeles, and your partner's based in your co-founder's based in New York. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So how have you dealt with, have you been impacted at all by the chip shortage? I mean, some of our companies have 12 months of delay. Has that impacted you?
Occasionally we see issues with certain screen sizes that we might have to change ever so slightly. We might be buying a 50-inch monitor from one display manufacturer, but then we need to actually buy it from someone else or a different distributor. But for the most part, we've been shielded from that.
Yeah. And what about recruiting? Again, this seems to be an issue maybe coming out of the pandemic, but how do you envision as you grow and as you raise the capital and look to expand like you're talking about? Do you have people in mind that you've identified already? How much of an issue is the recruiting going to be for you?
Yeah, some former executives from other companies, Intel, for example, Verizon, interested in joining Magnetic. So there's some top talent that we'd like to bring on board. But I also saw that Chris Doherty is on the call, and I thought maybe he'd be able to help us out with that initiative.
That's a good point. Well said.
Love to see it.
Yep. And so so you and your colleague are bi-coastal. What about the balance of the organization? Where are you guys situated?
So we were mostly virtual before the pandemic. We use WeWork offices. We've got a warehouse and a setup out in LA, and also in kind of south of the airport, and then Santa Monica, where we do our demos, and then also in New York City. A lot of times we're out on the road though, meeting with customers, and part of the fundraising effort is actually to put maybe 10 or 20 new screens into market that can then travel around to different customers. Because what we do is a loaner program where a company such as Microsoft, for example, would receive the display for 2 to 3 weeks. They'd get approval from management, and then they would roll out, $250,000 to a $500,000 project, after testing the software. So we seem to be using the web as a way of scaling up and also getting screens into the hands of customers.
Yeah, I could see how trade shows, this would be a big draw for sure. So can you talk about the capitalization history? I think you said you'd raised $3 million to date from angels. What was the pricing on that? Do you have debt?
Yes, we do have debt outstanding. We're actually in the process of working to restructure that right now. There's only one major angel, super angel, if you will, that's invested in the company. He was the former president of the Publishing Association for 10 years and was the owner and founder of Starlog and Fangoria magazines. So he ran about 20 magazines, sold those, and then invested in Magnetic. So he's been in the company for over 10 years. He's got roughly $1.5 million in debt inside the company right now, and we're looking to convert some of that and also do a possible buyout. He owns approximately 50% of the company now.
I see. Okay, great. Well, thanks, Tom. Again, exciting stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll be quick, Jasmine.
Cool.
I know we're running out of time. So great presentation. I know that I hate 3D glasses, so this was music to my ears and my family as well. When you had on the screen in terms of the 6 million that you're raising and the 18 million to revenue, is that in committed backlog that you don't have the capital to be able to execute on, or is that sort of an estimate of where you think the revenue is going to be based on that raise?
So we believe 5 years out in advertising sales and in enterprise sales that we can ramp the company up to 175 million in revenue. So the first 2 years, we're really just getting that ramp going by bringing on 30 to 40 sales and marketing people in those sides of the organization. And that's like horizontal selling in existing accounts. We're getting 2 to 3 leads every day right now. We're spending about $1,000 to bring in about $13,000 worth of business. And we know that number is going to go down with efficiency. If we bring in more screens at a lower price and start shipping them by ocean instead of air, if we spend more money on online marketing than we're doing right now, we'll see those numbers start to scale and push us up. The requests from customers are amazing. I mean, projects range anywhere from a $30,000 or $40,000 sales, a normal phone call to receive, but we also work on projects that are anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 at a clip. So
great. Yeah, and you answered my follow-up questions that I would have asked, which is around customer acquisition costs and driving down hardware costs over time, distribution model. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let me just leave you with the last piece of that. Is like, as we raise capital, one of the things that we'll want to do is develop system on a chip technology. Right now, the cost of some of the hardware and the screens is on a kind of a low volume basis, but we can bring those chip costs way down. And we've got some ideas as we get into the home about partnering with NVIDIA to do something like that.
Great. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely, Tom.
All right, so we have less than 60 seconds to end this episode. So I'm going to do the quickest wrap up ever. And I'm going to ask you a rapid fire question, Tom, which is how long has the rest of the team been with the company? You talked about a 12-year history. Has a lot of the team been with you for all 12 years, or has it been a more recent building of the team?
Yeah, my partner, John, he's been here, I think he's over a decade now. He'd probably be, if he was on the call, he'd be kicking me not knowing the exact date. But yeah, we've all been here. I think the shortest time is about 8 years. So.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you for answering that. Again, folks in the audience, you can always reach out to me, Jasmine at techunited.co, if you have questions or want to get connected to any of the folks on screen here who can help further. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much to the startups that joined us today for this incredible marketing and ad tech episode. Pitches were fantastic. The feedback and insights that you all gave were, as always, invaluable. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thanks to all of you on screen who joined us today. We really appreciate it. I'm going to end this show reminding everyone to join us all in person at Propelify on October 6th, and to announce that Ajay's company, Viral, is the winner of the Audience Choice Award. So congratulations to you.
Thanks so much.
And thanks for joining us. Thank you all so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to see all your faces. Looking forward to seeing them in person at Propelify. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Bye, all.